Hello everyone, how are you? I hope when you join, you are having a terrific moment in time whenever you're seeing this. My name is Colleen Gallagher, if you haven't been introduced to me before. And one thing that I'm super passionate about is just empowering people to understand why it is they're here and really live an incredible life. And right now, when you're watching this, my hair, I am in the middle of a 31-day live series, and I'm doing this 31-day live series for the launch of my third book, An Uncompromised Life. And this is to date, like, my most just best book. I don't even have words. I'm just trying to find some, like, most inspirational, most transformational, most awakening, most heartfelt, most like really you just go on a huge journey with this third book that's coming out. So I definitely recommend when you're watching this, if you have not pre-ordered it yet, message me Uncompromised so you can pre-order the book. It comes in this like beautiful little package that we've made. And so I'd be super honored. But today is day 25 out of the live series. And what I want to talk with everyone about in these live series is ways that I've broken my own heart and then ways that I've turned it into a love story. Because one thing I've learned is many of us don't realize that we often are breaking our own heart with our subconscious habits, behaviors, and patterns. And so a big way we do this, and this is a lot of things that I cover in my third book, is that we have conversations in our head that we think other people are listening to. So for an example, if we're in a relationship, man or woman, and if you're a woman, a lot of times you'd be like, oh, he's not responding, or he's not showing up on time, or he's not communicating his feelings. But in your head, you're having all these conversations with him about how you think he feels about you, why he's not showing up, the excuses that you think he's saying or not saying. And as women, we like literally create this whole story with another person, a man, that isn't there. And then how men do this on the reverse side is men will sit there and they'll be like, I wonder, is she talking to her friends about me? What do her friends say about me? Was like, did I perform okay? Was that dinner okay? Should I have chosen this place? Does she like this restaurant? Was that text message like, I don't want to offend her if she's a respectful, powerful woman? Like, men have these thoughts in their head, and you as a man and woman, you are having these thoughts which you think are conversations with someone else because you're thinking about another person, but you're never actually communicating it out of your mouth. And so from this space of like having all these thoughts going in your head about another person that you're never communicating, it causes a lot of anxiety and it causes a lot of heartbreak. The biggest reason people go through heartbreak is miscommunication or no communication. And so what I'd like to offer in this perspective and what I share with this, and I can say from the unhealthy and toxic relationship that I was in, there might be times when you start to communicate and say like, I feel this way, or you're saying like, hey, I texted you, or this happened, I really didn't feel comfortable, and the other person may like start not making you feel very good about it. So bigger though, what I see in this video is what I want to talk about is when we have all these voices in our head spinning about what we think we should be talking to someone else or what we think someone else is thinking. And we get in this huge dialogue in our own head when the other person isn't even there. And then we get mad at the other person because we've created a whole dialogue and just had a whole conversation in our head with another person that actually was never there. So when you're watching this and you can relate to this, like definitely drop like something in the comments and being like, I can totally relate to this or I totally understand, because I know this has not just been me. This is something that a lot of clients tell me about. I'm like, I wonder if this person thought this or they're thinking this. And people do this in business all the time. Like, what is this client thinking of me? What is this thinking of me? Like all of these thoughts. And so we often break our heart with this because we spend so much wasted energy on thinking about what everyone else is thinking or doing and having these conversations in our head, when all we really need to do is pick up the phone or text someone or call them and say like, hey, I'm feeling this. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I just wanted to say these thoughts were kind of going in my head. Is this even a real thing? Like, once we start to realize that these thoughts, these conversations we're having in our head, half the time we're making the shit up. Like, we literally are just sitting there making up stories. that aren't even relevant to anything in a relationship or anything to anybody else. I don't even know why our mind does this, but as a human species, we've been trained to do this. And we cause problems with people when there's no problem. And so I wanted to keep this one super short and simple today. A huge way to live a compromised life is when you start having these, when you are unawareingly having these conversations in your head with other people that are not even around. And then when they come around, you like have this whole thing of a life that's happened that they were never a part of. And so this causes heartbreak in many, many times because we're constantly then projecting what we think someone should act like, why they haven't done something, when in reality, all we had to say is like, hey, this is how I felt. I'd really appreciate if this could happen. Or, hey, this is what was like going on. Any thoughts or feelings about it? Or men, I really would like to take you to dinner. What do you like for dinner? Instead of having to guess about it or think about it, like just like ask, like, what do you like? What are the things that you would enjoy? Woman, when we're like over analyzing and thinking with men, all you have to do is sit there and be like, I have these feelings. These are the feelings that are in me. How do I, like, is this even a thing or am I making this whole thing up? And move through it. That's it. It's simple conversation instead of this long drawn out process that stays in your head, or where you feel like you aren't getting paid attention to, or men, you feel like the woman's being needy. Like literally all you have to do is say it and not leave it stuck in your head, because the longer that you have the voices just circling in your head, the longer your heart is breaking, because you're making a story with someone else that isn't even present. So with that, I hope that it serves you in this live. And if it does, I'd be so grateful if you share it and tag me. You then get a chance to win at the end of the month. I'm drawing 3 names where you get a signed copy of my first book, Love Your Truth, a signed copy of my 3rd book, An Uncompromised Life. You get 1-on-1 call with me for the second and third person, and the first person you get 2. And then the other thing is when you're watching this and you're like, I want to work on my communication, or I feel like I do have all these voices going inside my head. Like this is something that I naturally do. These are voices that I have. These are things that I do. And it's a habit I don't want to have anymore because it's causing a lot of anxiety. It's causing a lot of fights. It's causing a lot of turbulence. I definitely ask that you reach out, and I'm happy to offer a consultation to see how I can help you get into a more empowering mindset and state around conversations with yourself, and then also having conversations with other people. And then lastly, when you join this, I want you to know that when you're seeing this, it's very intentional, and wherever you are in your life, the pain that you're feeling is almost passing. The heartbreak that you've gone through or are going through is almost complete, and you are so deserving and worthy to be absolutely in love. However, it takes the awareness and commitment to see what are these voices you're having inside of your head. What are you not communicating, or communicating without really realizing why it's there? And how do you move into a more empowered state with that? So sending you so much love in this beautiful moment in time.